Hey guys, welcome to the RoundTable episode 78. I am Jenny Walker, the social media ministry leader here at Life Church. And this is Mike Hill, our pastor, lead pastor. What is so funny?
Nothing.
I feel like this is like a script now.
Yeah, I know.
You laugh and I say, what?
No, I'm just like, I'm trying to figure out which title I would get this week.
I know.
And I always want to say Pastor Mike, and you're always like, no, I'm just Mike.
Please.
And I'm like,
Mike's good.
It's like, Pastor Mike. Like, no,
it's titles and me are not.
I feel like that's what we're used to, though.
Yeah.
Used to what?
Like calling somebody a pastor, because that's what was expected.
We went to the same church forever.
We did.
We've lived.
Meaning like somebody wanted you to call them that?
Like if you didn't, they would be upset.
Yes.
Offended.
No.
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh,
very correct.
Gosh.
Yes.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a problem.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel like you have to have those titles.
Not
it doesn't
at all.
even really matter. And I'm not even saying from a pastor's perspective. I'm saying
Like a
for
doctor
like, do you really need to be called the doctor?
Pride of life. I think that's what
it is.
Yeah,
very.
But
I'm with you.
anyway.
On that. So I'd rather just be Mike.
Yeah.
I like to call you Mike.
Huh?
It would be weird to call you Pastor Mike now. But in the beginning, I wanted to.
Yeah. And
Yeah. So now it's
Now it's so
weird.
much easier. Just
now I like calling you senior pastor. Just rolls off the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
I don't even know why.
And our special guest.
And our special guest, yes, we go way back.
Yes.
Brenda Williams.
Do you really go way
Yes.
back?
Yeah.
Well,
So
I don't know.
like,
Give me the way back story.
well, I mean, you knew me before I knew you
Yes.
because of my parents.
I bought her parents' house actually on
Yes.
Madison
Oh,
Street.
that's right. I
knocked
forgot
on the
about that.
door and so that all.
So the house that I grew up in from like 4 to middle school or high school, it'd been middle school, but she bought.
Yes.
Okay.
But I know her mother and her father real well.
Mm-hmm.
So and I hope Jenny was in addiction when my daughter was in addiction.
Right.
So we were crazy people, me and your mom.
And my dad.
Breaking
Didn't you guys
into
cry during
drug
Walmart?
houses, crying in Walmart.
Yeah, frozen aisle. Were you crying at the frozen aisle at Walmart?
Frozen
For her,
vegetable aisle, yeah.
Yeah,
Praying
her and my
for our
dad.
kids.
What was that? The frozen vegetable aisle?
We just ran into each other and we couldn't help our daughters. And when you're
got
trying, and you don't even know where they are,
Okay.
you just pray they get arrested or,
You do pray they get arrested?
yes,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Really?
Because you know where they are.
Yeah, you know they're safe.
And
Wow. So you had no idea? Like
No.
that's how it works? Like you just hide from people? when
yeah.
you're-
And
Yeah.
then when they would come home, or at least Chelsea, I mean, you just sleep.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yeah. And Jenny stayed at my house before.
I
my
did.
old house.
Yes. So when I was in a different program, the Dream Center, she had us over and she let us watch cool movies because we were only allowed to watch Pure Flicks. And what did we watch? Probably one of the worst ones.
I don't know. I don't
It was the
remember.
Johnny Cash one.
The what?
The Johnny Cash, wasn't it Johnny Cash?
Walk the line.
Walk the Line.
That's
Yeah.
new, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
not a new
A
movie?
few years ago.
Yeah,
Oh, I
like
didn't know that.
2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
She
So-
came out and helped me with the deer. And yeah.
The Deer Love Me.
So you were involved with the Dream Center,
Yes.
and then the Dream Center would have people to their house?
No. I was just involved with the church and
Oh, okay.
I wanted the girls to just come out.
Oh,
you know,
got it. And that was allowed?
Depending
I
on who you
guess.
were. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They really didn't have rules though.
The Dream Center didn't have
I mean, they did, but it was not like the main Dream Center, like the main one in like,
California.
yeah, like, they're building one actually in Indianapolis.
Who?
The Dream Center, like the actual one.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they bought but one of the main hospitals. I can't remember the name of it, but St. Francis, I think it is. Is that in Indy?
Yeah, it's in Indy.
They
but
donated their whole entire hospital because they're about to rebuild.
St. Francis or Methodist?
Not sure.
It's one of the hospitals. But the
Okay.
Dream
Yeah.
Center is like a national. People go under their name, so they're under that umbrella.
Right.
Is what it is. So.
But it's actually like so they're going to use that whole entire hospital and fill it with like homeless people, families. They do a lot of outreach programs. They do a lot of good stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So the way back is through friendship, addiction,
hunting them
parents.
down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jenny actually went out and helped you with the animals.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did that go?
great.
It was really muddy then because it was
muddy.
raining. Yeah.
And what did she do?
I gave him marshmallows.
Yeah, she fed him just
So
treats.
she didn't help. That's what I was trying to get
That
to.
is helping.
There is no way
That I am the
Jenny
animal whisperer.
Walker is out there darting and treating animals.
She didn't do
So
that.
when you said help, it was zoo. Like she went out as a zookeeper.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look at their face. Make sure they're not sick.
Yes,
Throw
exactly.
marshmallows.
Wait, what do you mean? Like cleaning,
ain't
like
helping.
cleaning
That
or
ain't
something?
helping.
I do that at the kennels when I work.
What?
You would actually be really impressed with my life out there. I'm
Oh,
telling
where?
you.
Oh, where?
When I clean the kennels for where Roman came from.
Okay.
So it's like kind of like a farm kennel, sort of in a way. Like that's what it reminds me of. Like she has horses and a goat. And I saw a goat on a horse the other day and I'd never seen that in my life. It was when it was
So
like,
you go out and muck stalls.
oh man, do I ever. Yeah.
Okay.
Clean up a ton of poop.
Well, so are you one of the people that when you go out and work, you like dress up to work? Like you have these
What do you-
muck boots that are like, you know what I mean?
Well,
You
I
ever
mean-
see people like this?
The blue hunter boots that are
they,
pretty.
like, they come out and they're like, I got my bibs on and my muck boots, and I'm like, that is like a city girl walking into the
You might want
farm.
some Carhartt.
I mean, I step in a lot of poop. I step in a lot of
No,
poop.
I know, but I just have this vision of you not out there in just like real work clothes, like you have get up.
Probably.
Are they pretty rain boots or are they muck boots?
They're pretty.
That's what I was saying. Like,
I
would
donated
never-
them to my work shoes.
Yes.
They're like a normal pair of Chelsea boots.
Who's Chelsea?
Well, they're the name of the boots.
It's a name
So
brand
it's
pretty
not
boot.
muck
No,
or-
it's
yeah.
not even like a work boot or a rain boot or
no,
anything.
right. So you're just out there.
It's just a boot. Yeah.
So you're taking Instagram photos of you and making sure, like,
No.
Farmer Jenny.
No.
Right? What?
No, I don't take Instagram pictures out there.
Why not?
Because I'm wearing gloves because I'm touching poop. Well, actually, I'm not really touching
You're
it.
not touching poop,
But
you're
I
touching
know,
a
but
handle
I
on
just,
a shovel.
I know I can't. When I leave, I have to take a shower. Like, it's just the weirdest feeling. I have like serving and, working and like around food. I could not shower for days, but when I leave,
Anybody that goes to Jenny's house, there is no hygiene when she's serving you food.
there is
but-
now. There is now.
Oh.
But like, I'm just the different environments of how you feel when you like. Don't you feel that way? I was actually thinking about that
About
the other
what?
day. Like after you feed the cows, don't you feel that way?
Which way? Tell me how,
Like
which way?
dirty, like dirty, like or when you clean their poop or anything.
No.
Because you're used to it.
I mean, it's just like, haven't you ever heard the story of like the people that come out and work there and they get the craps and
No.
the diarrhea?
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, because there's this like, when you're handling baby calves, like some people get it. I've never got it.
I remember you saying
so
that.
I mean, I'll like if a calf dies, we have to post them. So you'll cut them open, pull everything out, decide what they died from, take pictures of the lungs, liver.
You decide
pancreas.
that?
Yeah. I mean,
You're a doctor.
from a veterinary.
Yes.
If you
Yeah.
work with animals, you,
Yeah.
you pretty much become somewhat of a vet.
So I'm a vet.
Huh?
I work with animals.
No.
I dissect poop.
No.
Yep.
No. Yeah. So I'll be like cutting it open and put a dip in and just take my hands off, wipe my
Ew.
hands off. And
You just get used to it.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
just-
it's
No,
yeah.
guys. I can't even touch my watch. So
Yeah,
if I'm
like-
out there, I'm not answering.
Did I
like when
shower today? I
yeah,
don't
shot
know.
a
I'm just
doe
going to
the other
bed.
night, and I mean, I had blood up to my elbows, and I never really even thought about it. I came walking into the house, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I had blood all over.
Well, I wish I could be
Surprise!
like that.
What's for supper?
Yeah, no, I mean, again, it's not like I don't want
Oh,
to
my.
shower, but it doesn't, none of that stuff bothers me.
Yeah.
Wallering in poop or
Well,
handling animals, and I don't feel like, ooh, I feel nasty.
I think it was 'cause I wasn't brought up living that way.
See, this is, you want me to tell you my theory, my medical theory.
Okay, what?
You know why people get sick?
Because they're not used to it.
No, because they wash their hands too much.
Too much.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Because
Oh, yes,
if you
yes,
don't
yes.
wash your hands, then you build up this
Yeah.
immune system that's like a super immune
Yeah.
system.
Oh, I'm not- yeah.
The cleanest, this is my theory, the cleanest people get the sickest.
Yeah, it's just like COVID, like how we're having to wear masks. I feel like the people that didn't wear masks didn't get as sick, or did wear, or yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, so I think hand washing is overrated. So that's
Oh,
when
I
the
agree.
whole
I don't like
COVID
washing
thing,
my
and they
hands.
put all those stupid sanitizers out. I'm like, what the heck? Do people use those things? Because everybody's like, shake a hand, and you're like,
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that ain't
I only
happening.
wash my hands if somebody's in the bathroom with me. Like we went to the bathroom together.
So you're one of those people that
Yes.
are like, you never wash your hands, but if you're around somebody, you're like, oh, I
like
gotta wash them
sometimes
because they're going to think bad of me.
Sometimes when I'm at home, I'll turn the water on, like not do anything, and then walk out. I don't know why. Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
I feel like a lot of people do it. They just don't admit it.
They don't want to admit that
Yeah.
I don't completely admit it. I'm like, what is the...
What's the point? You're not touching anything.
That's what I
Should
said.
be at least.
Nobody shake our hands. Nobody.
Yeah. From now on, Sunday morning, if you see Jenny, make sure you shake her hand.
Or you.
Listen, everybody knows it about me.
No, I don't think they do.
No, it's very well known that I don't wash my hands on a regular basis unless they're covered in something.
Okay.
If they're covered in something, if it's edible covered in something, I just lick it off.
Well, yeah.
If it's not edible, then I actually wash my hands.
That's good.
Anyway, Brenda.
That was a long tangent.
Listen, I used to leave my food on the table for my kids or on the stove for weeks at a time. My kids never get sick. I feel like I poisoned them. I know. I didn't know any better, but like they'll tell you, they never get sick.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, just warm it back up.
Yeah, that's what I always say. It's like it's cooked. What's the worst thing can ever happen?
I know. Why do you have to like put it in the fridge and
Yeah,
all that
get
stuff?
it
I
back
really
out.
don't understand.
Yeah, it's all Americanized.
So what about milk? Can you just leave milk out too?
No, I think
I
that
don't
might
think
be
so.
a bad idea.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that might be the one thing that no matter what you do in life, if you drink curdled milk, you might be having some
Okay.
you
Good to
might be
know.
having some bacterial
Yeah.
problems in your stomach.
Okay, can't get away with milk.
be.
Everything else.
So anyway, Brenda, tell us a little bit about you, kind of now, and
Okay.
then let's go back in life and tell us a little bit about
Okay.
your life growing up. So what's going on in the wonderful life of Brenda?
Wonderful life.
The wonderful life.
Yes, well,
Exciting life.
I just had a new grandbaby. So grandbaby number 5. She's a month old. That's exciting.
What's her name?
Gianna.
Gianna.
Call her little G.
Gia. Little G.
Or Gia. Yeah, they call her too. Yeah. And I sell real estate, mainly new construction, and run a deer farm. Co-run a deer farm. So
Yeah.
and
Which
we
is
just
super impressive.
Yeah.
it's hard work.
We've had a lot of people ask about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the questions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's difficult. I mean, it's difficult work.
It's and their a deer is born. They're a predator. Or they're not a predator. They're just always anxious and
they're prey.
They're prey. Yeah, that's
and
what
so
I want
they
to
always
say.
have the flight or fight
Yes.
mentality, which is
Yes.
always flight.
Yeah.
Deer ain't, unless it's a big bug. I mean, deer ain't
We've
fighting,
had a
they're
couple.
running.
Yeah, we've had a couple where we have to run them through a chute, and do vaccinations and cedars and
Right.
we AI and all that stuff.
Right.
But come up on Dan pretty good. And
Really?
I'm like,
Wait, what do you mean? They like get up?
They come up with their
they
hooves.
come up on their hooves.
and they'll like smack you.
yeah.
Are you
And they're like
serious?
razors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
that's-
When you have to give them the vaccinations?
We're trying to move them through a small chute and choke them down. And then there's, in a small area, give them a shot.
Okay.
They can go out. But they jump and we can trap them and then we can
Right.
work on them.
Oh my gosh.
And maybe
So-
maybe you're going to answer this at the end, but maybe explain to people what is a deer farm?
Yeah.
Like,
So we raise deer for preserves.
Right.
So we sell big bucks, trophy bucks
Right.
to hunters that want to go for a weekend and guarantee. I don't even want to say guarantee because you're not guaranteed because
No.
you have to be on 99 acres.
right,
And that's a lot,
right.
for a deer
Right.
to move around. So
Oh my gosh.
But so, like, I got to tell a story because the guys that were working at our house in Urbana, they used to raise deer too.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like, I forget their names because Chad asked me.
Okay.
Because Chad Newsom used to have
Yeah.
a deer farm. And
I was
what he-
just talking to Chad about it.
Yeah, so I forgot all about thinking of what their names were. But anyway, so they raised, I mean, big time forever, sold them to Bellers.
Yeah.
And, Bellers is the guy that had it in over in Peru and then
Yep.
ended up his hunting preserve. I mean, he ended up going to jail because he wasn't running it the right way. Is that fair to
What?
say?
No.
Okay.
So
what did happen?
he
He went to
was-
jail, right?
But he was he was doing a preserve.
Okay.
But it was like, it was the very beginning of deer farming.
Okay.
And he was trying to say they're like cattle. They're on my property.
Okay.
I'm raising these deer.
Okay.
And the states are like, no, you can't do that. So that's kind of how.
That was the thing?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why he went to jail?
Yeah. He didn't really do anything wrong.
Why are you in
But they
jail?
still, but obviously the state was mad at him.
Yes.
But just for the
he
wrong
went
reasons.
to jail, and I want to say for like 3 years or
Yeah.
something.
Oh my God.
But then he set the way for deer farmers.
Right. Because he has another preserve somewhere
In
else in
Ohio.
Ohio right now. Yeah.
Wow.
But anyway, so the guys were talking about it because it is, I mean, it's cool and weird at the same time.
it is.
Yeah.
Because he said they used to sell a lot down to Florida for the Miami Dolphins. So the Miami Dolphins would buy, so you buy a buck,
Okay.
essentially, is the way.
Yep.
You can explain
Yep.
it better, but I'm going off what I think I know. So you buy a buck. So these guys would talk to the hunting preserve people. And so the hunting preserve people would put the people out there to hunt and not put the deer out for a couple of days. So it kind of felt like they were hunting, you know, and then they had aisles. And I'm not saying it's like this at every hunting preserve, but some of them I think are set up this way. So they had like the guy was here and then a gate opening was here. And then you have this like where they could run down. And so you would open the gate, let the deer out, the deer would run down, the guy would shoot it. Now that's not everyone, but
It's not everywhere, but I heard of that happening last year, and we will never sell our deer
Right, that's my
to
point.
like a preserve like that. I
Right.
mean,
Right. Because it was like you open the
so
gate,
sad.
he walks down,
Yeah,
and 5
'cause
minutes later, boom.
you do get preserve owners that are like, no, we don't care, you know, we're here to make our money as soon as they come off the trailer,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just sad.
Oh
but
my gosh.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're enclosed. It's like
So they're-
Hunger Games
Not
for
all
deer.
of them, but some of them are high fence.
yeah, they're high fence, but
Yeah.
you're talking 99 acres
Yeah.
for the most part. That's
Right.
a lot.
Is it? Okay.
That'd be like 4 times or 3 times the size of our property,
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
So it's in one fenced area.
Okay. So they can run for their life.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they can get away. They just, and again, I'm not going,
Yeah.
I'm not dissing on
Yeah.
hunting preserves. I'm just saying to give people perspective. And then there is, because they do like, and this happens everywhere. So this isn't even with deer. There's elk preserves.
Yeah.
I mean, they genetically raise trophy animals to be able to have people, and people will pay good money to be able to shoot a trophy.
And we're trying to collect pee. I mean, we pedigree and, you know.
Wait, what? Pee? Like
Yeah, so
for
like deer
hunters.
their urine?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because they
for
go,
smell?
yeah, they go into estrus. And when they go into estrus, then that's when the bucks know.
When the bucks are ready to get busy.
I think I have a video I'll have to share with you.
Really?
Oh my
Of
God.
them having like deer sex?
Yeah. I should tell the story on here.
Have you never seen?
Oh, no.
No, we just told the story. You can tell us.
I'll be short. Okay, so we just moved this great big buck last year, and he woke up, and it usually takes him a minute to wake up because you put him to sleep so you can move him.
Because they're so anxious
no,
You tranquilize them because
Yeah.
it makes it safe to move them.
to move them
because
Yeah.
of you.
Yes,
And the deer probably?
well, they would run off.
Oh.
So yeah,
I mean,
They
there ain't no
won't-
deer
they won't
standing
go
there
on a-
waiting to put a leash on them. So,
Okay, get it.
Yeah. Anyways, that deer, we had one doe, and she was just like ready to go, and she bent down, and for
Bent down.
I would say for like.
so you're gonna have to put this out on a video
I'm
for
trying
the
to imagine.
Well, we had people from Amor Construction bringing us stone, and so everybody's getting out of their trucks watching.
were watching
They
it?
were watching it. He, was going at this girl.
He mounted her.
No, he didn't mount her.
No?
For for at least 5 minutes, he,
No, I don't.
he was being very.
And he's over there like, tell me, please.
He was being very gentle with her, and then she just bent down, and then it was like a romantic thing. I was like, "Boys, you should take notes."
That is so funny.
I'll tell you later.
Yes, please do. 'Cause I'm still trying to imagine this.
Listen,
I was
the
like-
deer understood foreplay.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
no.
I mean, I don't know how else to better explain it.
That's what I was thinking, but I didn't think like a deer would like understand
I didn't think that they would either, but I watched it, and I think I
What?
videotaped it. So,
Oh my gosh, Brenda has deer porn.
So anyway, that is deer farming. So there's
Yeah.
a lot that goes into it. It's like getting the right genetics.
Yes.
And again, a lot of
Wow.
work collecting, deer peas so that hunters can use
Yeah.
it and you can sell it. And it can be a very,
for the most part, the babies are all named, or all the deer, really, they come right up to me. And
Yeah, they do. They're so
how many
cute.
do you guys have?
56
Wow.
right now.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how many bucks do you sell on an average a year?
Usually, I would say 15 to 20, but we
Okay.
just lost 16 this year.
Wow.
Because of the EHD.
EHD, yeah.
The what?
It's called
EHD.
EHD.
Is it a virus?
Yeah, so it's like a midge fly bites them, and within 8 to 36 hours, they're dead.
So what do you do with the deer when there are like that many?
And it's contagious too, to a certain extent.
To a
Is that
human?
no?
I don't think it's contagious. They
Okay.
have to be bit by the fly, and it's
Yeah, but
almost
why
like
is it such a big deal then on the transportation of the animal, right? Because with EHD, or is it chronic waste? I can't
that's
remember which
chronic
one.
waste.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
contagious. Yes.
Like
Okay.
hazmat kind of thing? They take them that way?
No, you have to
Burn them?
cut their heads off, and then you have to take their head into the vet. The vet takes some brain samples.
Like a normal vet?
Yeah.
So I could be sitting there with my dog and
Somebody walked in with a deer head.
It happens. Well, you put them in a bag or
Okay,
something.
good,
Nobody
that's
ever
good.
knows.
Somebody walks in with a
Nobody
body
ever knows
bag,
what the bag
sitting
is.
right beside you.
yeah, no big deal. It's not like I've listened to a bunch of murder podcasts.
Yeah. So that's
Wow.
tough. So
Yeah.
losing 16.
Yeah. So that's going to hit us next year pretty hard, but
Right.
in
And
real
all
life.
bucks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez. Why
Well,
is,
$16 2 does. Sorry.
why is it always the
I know.
Yeah,
It's-
bite the does for crying out loud.
Exactly.
Yeah, never works that way
Yeah.
in business.
So can you have like elk ear or deer?
Yeah. We could have reindeer. We could have elk.
Yeah.
We could, yeah.
Wait, reindeer's like really
Reindeer. Yeah, reindeer.
I thought it was a different type of deer and they just made that up.
No, there's reindeer.
Real reindeer.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like some
we should
people,
get one.
because the other day I said I want to go hunt caribou, and so Sarah's kids are like getting like the whole like hunting thing is new to them.
Yeah.
you know, and they're like, we're not eating deer meat until I brought deer meat. Like the one I got summer sausage made and they love it. Well, anyway, so I'm like, I want to go on a caribou hunt, and they're like, those are reindeer. Like those caribou are reindeer.
No.
And I'm like, they're not reindeer. There's a real thing that's reindeer.
Yeah.
Those aren't reindeer.
So they didn't
caribou
know
and they're
either that there was
tasty.
reindeer?
No, they were like, you're not shooting reindeer. I'm like, they're caribou. They're not reindeer.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I need some elk antlers, some elk ear antlers, or the antlers from the elk deer
For what?
for my dogs. They chew
Oh.
them. They like the stuff in the middle.
They don't just like out. They like any antler.
Oh, so you can give me an antler?
I could.
You could?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, so we brought a bunch of sheds back from Wyoming. And so we put them out by the party barn, you know,
Yeah.
because there's tons of them. And I'm like, I don't know what we're going to do with all these. Well, the dogs found them and ate them all.
Oh my gosh. I
Yeah.
bet they were in
Yeah,
heaven.
they just sit there and chaw them down. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, guys, I need some antlers. Those are expensive.
you can buy them at a pet store.
They're expensive.
Oh.
I
So
would like to just go hunt
You
one.
think Brenda's just going to give them to you?
Well, if one falls off, I don't know.
Well, maybe you should go out shed hunting.
Well, how do you do that?
You go out
Well,
and
walk the woods.
Yeah, walk the woods and look for where
Really?
their antlers
Yeah.
fell off.
They fall. Yeah, they'll fall off in like January, February.
Yeah.
Good to know,
You got to
okay.
get them before the squirrels get them.
Yeah.
The squirrels like
The
them?
squirrels eat
Yep.
the crap out of them.
Wow, with their teeth?
Yeah.
Like they eat that? Wow.
They eat them.
That's
Yeah.
impressive.
I mean, they'll be gone within a short amount of
Yeah.
time.
Okay,
So you
good
got to
to
get
know,
out there.
guys.
So you can go put on your dress up, your dress up, snowmobile suit, pink snowmobile suit, and go walk through the woods looking
I would
for.
not wear a pink one. I would not wear a pink
No,
one.
you would wear dress Carhartts, like
yes.
fancy
Yeah.
Carhartts.
Yep.
Yeah.
My Carhartt
Okay,
beanie.
there you go. You can take your shed hunting.
Yes,
for the
I
first
can.
time.
I
would
can
love
take
to.
you.
Another
want to?
bonding
Yeah,
experience,
yeah.
Brenda.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I really want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Okay.
I've been thinking about this for a while.
All right. So, Brenda, talk to us a little bit. So, anything else interesting going on in your life now?
Well, we had the house fire a couple years ago.
Yes.
So we're rebuilt now.
Are you
All
completely
done?
rebuilt?
Yes. And just a few things here and there. Finally got my appliances I ordered in 20. And my
Whoa.
refrigerator and oven quit. Don't buy high-end KitchenAid, people. Like, don't.
Because
What?
it already quit?
Yeah.
What?
And I'm kind of wondering for the last 2 years what kind of people, like what are we going to get car wise,
Yeah.
just all that
Yeah,
stuff.
for sure.
You know what I mean?
So, your
Scissors.
KitchenAid appliances were bad.
Correct.
Brand new.
Brand new.
And KitchenAid's supposed to be a great brand.
Yeah.
Everybody be on alert.
Wow.
High-end KitchenAid stuff.
Trying to get my money back and
Are you
go.
getting
Oh my
it back?
gosh.
I don't know. I have to give them an opportunity to fix it, but they can't find anybody that'll work on a sealed unit. They call
Okay.
it. So
Wow. So you're going through all
Stupid.
those hoops, like the unnecessary ones, just
Yeah.
to get
yeah.
your money back from it.
Yeah.
A brand new, probably was a touchscreen one.
No, not the refrigerator, but there was an oven, and it's like every time you open the door, it shuts off.
Oh my gosh.
What's the point? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, so that's good. We're in a house now, and
Good.
it's all
So
good.
you're settled.
Yeah, we're all settled. And
everything's good.
Yeah.
Good. And the housing market's good. So being a realtor, I would assume, is a good
yeah,
thing.
it's kind of changed though.
Has it?
Rates are almost 8% now, and it's shifted in the last month, I would say. So
Wow.
Yeah. So everything's not slowing down a little bit.
it's slowing down. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So take us back. Tell us a little bit about you growing up. Tell us a little bit about your history. Because I honestly don't know anything about, do you grow up in Huntington?
Yeah.
Are you from around here?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about you from way back.
okay.
So we can get to know you a little bit.
I grew up in Huntington. I was a church bus kid. So I was invited. I was in Girl Scouts, but I was invited by a girl that lived around the corner. So their whole family I was like, I wonder why they just didn't pick us up.
I know. Enjoy the bus.
So there was a bus that picked you up.
Yeah. So, was in church young, just me and my sister.
Parents of your choice?
Didn't want to go.
Didn't go.
Nothing that was interesting to them.
Yeah.
So what made you want to go? Your friends?
I guess if I go way back, our family was very dysfunctional, I guess. My dad was an abusive alcoholic. And
to your mom?
Yes, she would make us leave,
Wow.
Yeah.
Being young?
Yes. So this is weird, but she'd have a bag and sleeping bag packed for us at Mako. Do you know where Mako is?
No.
It used to be General Aluminum.
No.
Or it's General Aluminum now. It used to be Mako.
Okay.
It's the blue factory over on Salamone.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I know where it's at now.
Yeah. So there's this little thing between the buildings that there's a fence there now, but it was just gravel.
Mm-hmm.
Really nothing. I don't know what it was. But yeah, so whenever he got mad,
that's where you guys would go?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is, I try to wrap my head around everything that happened in those younger years,
Yeah, because then you'd just be like, hey, we're going to go take a sleeping bag and sleep outside.
Yeah, but it was already there, because it was already there. She already had his bags, It was almost like she knew.
Yeah, so this is off the subject, but maybe you know about this now. Why do women stay in those relationships? Because it seems like this is a reoccurring theme, right? Where women get in abusive relationships, but
I would say you're kind of almost, I don't want to say addicted to it, but like you're in fight or flight mode all the time.
Okay.
And then to go to like a normal relationship, it's, and then and my mom was the breadwinner. So she was the one working and making the money.
Oh,
and,
wow.
I don't know why she stayed.
Yeah.
I have
and again,
no
I'm just thinking
idea.
in general, because I've heard this story before. Like a lot of women are in abusive relationships and they don't get out.
Yeah. But you feel like you're the most ugly.
Yeah. Because they made you feel that way.
You're just worthless.
Meaning your husband, like you're the abuser, makes you feel that way?
Yeah,
Like
you
can't get anything else.
beat down that you
Wow.
You just don't see life for what the reality is,
And
I
so
guess.
did they have, a group of, because again, back to one of the things we talk about all the time is being in a good community, right? A community of people that can help you and so were there other people in their lives that like your mom was with that knew what was going on?
Oh, yeah. Like the people, she worked at Majestics and the people would know when she came in with black eyes and, could barely walk.
Right.
What would happen.
Right.
Our neighbors knew. Some of their family knew. And I know my dad went to jail a few times, but I don't know that it was for that.
Okay.
Other than drinking and driving and some things like that. But yeah.
Yeah. So nobody was really helping pick your,
No.
They might have tried to support your mom emotionally, but they never really like came around her and helped the situation change.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think as a kid, a lot of times too, you want somebody to talk to, but you don't want somebody to fix it. You don't want your dad to go away. You don't want your mom to go. You know what I mean? Those are your parents.
Right.
And you're just kind of in this situation that you have no control over.
Right.
And it becomes your normal.
Right.
So.
Right. Which is another dynamic that I think is very interesting is because it doesn't matter what a child has went through, with their parents or what their parents have done to them, they still want their parents.
Yeah. No
It's the
matter what.
craziest thing ever. Like they could be completely abused. They could be starved. They could be all of those things. But at the end of the day, if they had a chance, they would still
Pick their parents.
Want to be back with their parents, which again, I still say that says something about the DNA and the way God made things. You know, that there is something there that is a draw. And for a young child, it's like an attachment that regardless of how mean they are or how they treat you, they still want to be with you.
Yeah.
You know, in those ways.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of times we didn't have utilities or running water or, you know, just whatever.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it didn't matter because you wanted to keep everything together. So you're willing to live through it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you ended up going to church then because somebody
invited us, but you know, I just had that. I wanted to go, like, and you know, I had my whole life planned out. Like, I wanted to go to the military, or I really wanted to be a nun. Like, I did when I was young, when I was very, very young.
Old?
Probably, I mean, young.
How does that happen?
I know.
How did you did you watch a movie?
I just
What was the movie that would have been the singing movie?
The Flying Nuns.
Yes.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
She's talking about Whoopi Goldberg.
A deer, a female deer. That one. Aren't there nuns in there?
No. That is
Sound of Music.
Sound of Music.
That's what I was thinking of.
There's no nuns
Never
in.
mind.
There's no nuns in that one.
Just ignore me.
She kind of had a nun outfit.
Either way, I was just curious. Like that's something you usually don't hear
I think I saw the family dynamic and I didn't want it. I didn't want.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I didn't want to keep my family together, but I didn't want that.
Yeah.
And with all this going on, me and I don't even know how to like skip from one thing to another, but our neighbor was molesting me and my sister. So that started, I don't know, probably when we were 7 or 8, and it was both of us. And so that went on for a while. And
so can you talk about that for a second? Not like go in depth and talk about it, because one of the things that I think, so here's what was interesting to me, and I'm not even saying that this is true, but for some reason I hear this story a lot. So when we came to Plant Life Church, so one of the guys was our church planting coach, John Rails, travels all over the United States, you know, helping churches get started. So he said to us, like, be careful when you go to Huntington for 2 reasons. It's the most religiously abused community I've ever been in. So people doing things in the name of God that aren't right. Like they'll say in the name of God, but then they abuse people through the name of God. And he says it's the worst place for sexual sin of any place that I've ever been.
Oh, wow.
You know, in the United States. It's like a cloud of sexual sin hangs over.
In the United States?
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, now that seems dramatic. But it was like when I used to do youth, like just as an example, we did youth and we have kids, and you would think it's like, oh, you know, I'm getting bullied, or like we had girls in our youth group that were saying, well, the problem is that on Friday nights, my dad has his friends over and we have to go to the basement and he lets them sleep with us.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, how is that okay? Or how does that seem normal? Or how do you get to that place where, you know, those things are happening? And how is it, again, and thinking of for young girls, you know, in situations where molestation happens, like how do they get a voice, or how would you help them, you know, work through what you went through? Because it's obvious that it had an impact.
Right.
Yeah.
In a very
it still has an impact. You know, there's a lot of things you have to work through.
Yeah.
We've talked about that too.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Even into your new relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
The whole trust factor. And
and a mental game that you've got to get through. And, you know, it's just, But
maybe it's not something we can talk about.
It's not something that's broken in you. I guess that's what I would say. It's something's broken in that person.
Okay.
Right.
And
because they make it feel like, or you feel like that, like when you're in it?
I would think so. I personally,
Yeah. And on our situation, like we didn't have a phone, so we had to go over there and order pizza or something, or we had to, our parents would send over there to clean to make $3 or, and it was just.
So you were like, you had to go over there. You had no way out.
Yeah. And I almost wondered if he molested my mom because she had lived in the same house. Like, I don't know that because my mom died from cancer a long time ago. Yeah, I was 13 when she got cancer. And yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's so young.
Yeah. And then my dad, after she died, numerous times he tried to commit suicide, told me he was going to commit suicide. Like he just couldn't take it because he had been so horrible to her.
Oh, wow.
And my last straw, I love my parents. I don't, I have no disrespect. I forgave them a very long time ago. He had hung a noose in our garage and I cut him down and I just like, you get so exhausted. You can't watch somebody all the time and make sure they're okay.
Right.
But he finally drank himself to death and found him on our couch. And that's a whole totally different experience because I was 15 at that time. And,
oh my gosh.
And then.
So you had lost both your parents by the age of?
15.
15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what happened? Like, did you guys go live with the aunt and uncle? Like,
we lived in our house.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And nobody came and like checked or like, I don't know.
The church I had went to, they brought us macadamia nuts once. That's the only thing I can remember.
Yeah.
No, we were like, no.
Is your sister older?
1 year.
Okay. So she would have been like
Jean
16.
Snowden helped us. She got her driver's license at 14, which I think is insane.
Who did?
My sister.
Really?
Because my dad was a habitual traffic offender.
Okay.
Had his license taken away. So anytime she had to go to the doctor, it was for certain. It was a certain kind of driver's license.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
14-year-old driving to Indy.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Weird.
Yeah.
You think back and
Yeah, weird now, but I had, this is one of my things I think about all the time is part of our problem though is that we don't have an expectation for young people, but they really have a capacity that they could do way more than we give them credit
absolutely.
for. And so now we got 25-year-olds acting like 14-year-olds because we've just been like, oh, they can't do and they can't.
Yes, they can.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, there were kings in scripture that were 12 years old and 13-year-olds. There were people going to battle and fighting, at this age. And we're like, I don't know if I can get my kid to put a dish in a dishwasher. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can get him to do this. And that's, it's just too much responsibility for him. I'm like, they're 10, 11, 12 years old. Judas, give them more responsibility. Expect more out of them.
Yeah.
Because they have the capacity to be able to do things that I don't think we give them credit for.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you guys lost your parents. You're essentially raising yourself. So in that, you had been going to church. So where does faith play in at all? Like, is it in any of this journey? Like you went to church, but
I guess I never, like, I quit going to church.
Okay.
I mean, like
during that time.
Well, some of the girls, they were so mean to me. I would get made fun of for wearing the same clothes, or maybe I didn't get a bath for a couple of days, but they had no idea.
Yeah, for sure.
What was going on? Why? I just didn't get to go home last night, but almost couldn't take it anymore. Church wasn't a good space.
Yeah.
Wow. So they were doing that at church?
Well, at school.
Okay.
But I went to church with them.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's relationships that carry over into both.
Yeah.
of them.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't even remember what we were doing.
Yeah, no, we're just trying to
go.
You're fine.
Again, trying to figure out how the whole faith journey, because you went as a kid.
But
and
I never stopped loving Jesus through all of my life. Yeah.
Like you never blamed him or like cursed him or like during those times?
Oh yeah. I was mad at him. I still get mad at him.
Yeah, I feel like
normal.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I have the right to say if I'm mad, God, I'm mad, or
just like you would with the Father.
Yeah,
absolutely.
but
Yeah. So in that journey, so now you're living at home. Tell us how, like, so yes, you love Jesus, but how has faith progressed? Like, how did it, like, and how did life circumstance either help it or make it go backwards? Because again, we would know that the love never went away, but were there life circumstances that challenged that happened in your life?
Yeah. I kind of went, I got pregnant early. I was looking for a relationship to take place in my other relationship, my parents that were gone. It was just, but it was bad relationship after bad relationship after bad relationship. But I kind of just went on a healing journey for myself. I remember making myself a note a long time ago that just said, if I don't forgive people, what a waste. Mm-hmm. What a waste for my life, And I just make sure to never, I don't know my dad's whole situation. I don't have them to ask, you know what I mean? And I could go on and on and on about stuff, but I did find out years later. I went to HU and we were in science class, and so my dad couldn't have been my dad.
Oh, wow.
He was my dad, period. Right, like whatever. But we were, I'm AB negative blood. My sister's O negative. Not possible.
Okay.
To have both the same parents. So,
wow.
Yeah. And I never knew that until I started. But I had to start like educating myself because I really was ignorant. And when I say I poisoned my kids and left food on the table,
you really didn't know.
I really didn't know. I was cooking steak in the broiler down there, making jerky, and that was like cuisine.
Yeah. So again, because I think so for somebody who would know you,
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know what?
I don't know what anything she just said. The broiler.
In an oven.
Oh, like you turn the broiler on?
You turn the broiler on, but it's for the stove. You don't stick it in the fire.
Oh, got you. There's a fire thing down there?
So in a gas oven, how else does it get hot?
I guess I just I don't know. I never thought about it.
Yeah, so the idea is she was cooking over an open fire and she was supposed to be putting it in the oven.
Oh, because it was broiling up.
Yeah.
I get you. Okay, I got it.
Okay, so I have two things off of that I think are things to talk about. I think we would be surprised today how many young people, like for you didn't have any parents to be able to teach you, and so you're just kind of doing the best you can. I think we'd be surprised to say how many young women know nothing either.
Yeah. Well,
No, I don't. Yeah. I didn't mean it like nothing. Yeah. But I'm saying, part of what we've been talking about, the whole mentorship of like remembering that some of it is just, we think everybody has basic life skills and it's really not true.
And they don't.
It's really not true.
They
don't have basic life skills. They don't understand certain things. And we just take it for granted that these women are just going to grow up to be, great young women and great wives. And
Proverbs 31.
Right? Yeah, like they don't have it, right? Like nobody trained them. Nobody went through there. So that's part of it is like, how do we, get to the place where we recognize that there's got to be something in place to help young women that, whether they're through an extreme circumstance like you, or they just grew up with no idea, how to be able to do it, because that's tough to go into life with no life skills.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm not saying you'd had no life skills.
Right.
No, but it's true.
Nobody had taught you.
Yeah. Because we were in fight or flight mode for so long. And then my mom got sick, and then it was just like that dynamic changed. And
that's like flight or fight in a sense.
Yeah. And like all she wanted to do was die at home, but my dad couldn't stay sober enough. He dropped her a couple times. And it's just like, all these side stories that go with stories. But
so you had to grow up really quickly.
Yeah. And get a job.
Yeah.
Wow.
Real quick.
Yeah. Well, so again, I'm going to say from the outside looking in. So I would say if people are at Life Church today and they would see you or watch you, they'd be like, wow, like she has a deep, beautiful, worshipful spirit relationship with God. So like, here's where she is today, right? We're talking about a story where you're losing your parents when you're 15 years old, 16 years old, went through a lot of trauma in your life at a young age. So what we want to do, part of this podcast is there are other young women in the same spot out there today, or other young women that are going through trauma, whatever that trauma looks like in their life. And they don't see the other end, right? Or it's so far out, they don't understand or think that they can ever get there. what were some milestones for you? Like, what were some of those growing factors that helped you get to the place where you are today? Like, what was it that helped you move from a very traumatic time in your life? And not that you didn't have trauma along the way.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the other thing we want to see. What were your roadblocks and what were the things that were like accelerators, like the things that help, so that we can help our audience look and say, like, these are going to be roadblocks, look out for them because they're coming in your life. And, or like, these are the things that really helped propel my faith.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I had kids young and I didn't want to let them down. I know I let them down numerous times. But my daughter was I made her like my friend almost rather than her parent.
So how old were you when you had?
Almost 16.
Almost 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a lot going on in a short amount of time, but but I'm trying, I don't know, like, roadblocks specific. I don't settle for, you're worth so much more than what, and I still struggle with that. People can tell you all day long, oh, you got a great job, you got this, you got that. And you're like, you don't live in my head. Like,
right.
And I think that's very important to continuously educate yourself. I'm a big Audible book person.
Yeah. Amen.
Huge.
Amen. Me
Because
too.
I have to be busy.
Yeah,
And
me too.
and I can listen to a book and not sit and think my own thoughts.
Like
Right.
mentally busy?
Yes.
Yeah.
But no, like,
Oh, like actually busy?
yeah.
Okay.
Like, whatever.
Because
Go-
isolation causes weird,
yeah.
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 and so even if you're working alone, you're not isolated because you're
Listen-
with somebody.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got
in
you.
your head.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like just mowing, mixing feed, rollerblading. I love to rollerblade.
Yeah.
It's
Any
ridiculous.
of those
but-
things,
Yes,
having something
yes,
to be able to
yes,
keep you. So that would be an accelerator. So
yeah.
that would have been something that in your life you've learned
Yeah.
Yes.
that when you can't be alone with your thoughts, because I think it's okay to admit that. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know why
Oh,
people
yeah.
aren't okay to just admit, like, it's
Yeah.
not a good thing for me to be alone with my thoughts. So
Yeah.
I'm going to put something else in
Yeah.
there,
And I think soul knitting is a real thing too. And I had to go back through.
Okay, talk about
Yeah.
that.
What's soul knitting?
So,
Is it like soul grabs, not grabs? What is it? Ties?
soul ties, kind of like
Okay.
that, gluing. That's
Okay.
it is the like Hebrew definition for it. So when you have sexual contact with somebody, a woman is a receiver and
yes.
a man is a giver. So when those things happen, you're taking part of their soul. I
Yes.
mean, that's the two become one.
Right.
When so you have to kind of go back through and release those.
Yeah.
You don't want to carry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been taught that.
Yeah. And that's with you and God. I mean, it's.
What'd you
It's-
say, Jenny?
I've been taught that.
Been taught what?
Like the soul tie things.
Yeah.
Because that's
Okay.
what I've been called, or that's been called with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Because even if somebody does something to you.
yeah.
Um.
Still a connection.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Which is weird.
What part's weird?
I don't know. I just think the whole thing is weird about it. Like how
Have you ever
can,
dated somebody? Have you had somebody with a long relationship, I guess? And
Yeah. Like on
did
and
you
off.
start like liking stuff they liked that you hated? And then you're like watching
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
NASCAR or something
Yes.
stupid?
Yeah. I started doing
That's
drugs.
because, yeah.
Yeah.
Started liking what they liked
Yeah.
and they started doing drugs.
And it's because their soul's intermingling with your soul.
Right.
And you have to, yeah.
But even like just like one night stands or just like
Yes,
a rape or
all of that,
something
all
is
of that.
still
You're-
a soul tie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think for young women to realize they're giving so much more away
yeah.
than a one night stand or
Yes.
having fun or it's
Like stuff carries.
Yes, you're carrying.
So talk
you.
about that for a second, because the reality of people getting married today being virgins
Yeah, not
is
not.
slim to none.
Yeah.
So talk from a woman's perspective, because I think there are some men out there that need to understand what your one night stand and your insistence upon, because, and again, this is a theory, but for young men, it's like, I want to have sex, right?
Yeah.
And for women, at least I think is that if I want to keep him around,
Yes.
I'm going to have to give him what he wants.
Yeah, because we're emotionally needy.
Right. So guys who put women in those positions need slapped upside the head.
Yes.
They do.
Because you're putting him in a vulnerable situation. And just so you understand, if you're a young man out there, you need to hear what she just said. Years worth of work.
Years
Worth of work. Because you can't keep it in your pants.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, because you put a woman in a
absolutely.
situation where you can't keep it in your pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and so many young men are out there today like, well, what's the big deal? She said yes. Like, you don't get it.
Yeah,
Like,
you get to walk away because you know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You don't get it because what happens with a woman and what happens to her soul and what happens to her heart and the things that you just did are lasting and forever. So you need to put yourself in positions. If you're listening or watching, don't ever put a woman in a position where you make her make a decision because she's doing it because she wants you and loves you.
For you.
And you're doing it just to get in her pants.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, so
and it's
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
No, I know.
It's not just your flesh, it's your soul.
That's what I mean. So that's what I want to hear
yeah.
people. I want people to hear this because I mean, it's just not too many guys out there today. And again, I still don't understand what has happened that so many women are, and again, maybe it's just, I don't know what the dynamic is, but giving in, you know, and just letting it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like hookups and one night stands and all that stuff has just become
Yeah.
part of the game. You know, it's just part of what people are doing now. And I just like, have you not been around to see the lasting effects of what this is going to be someday?
And my sister works at Safe Place, which is ironic. She worked at Lincoln School for a long time. She has a psychology degree and was working for $12 an hour.
Right.
But now she works
Right.
at Safe Place for the government. But I cannot believe, she doesn't share like personal stuff, but that's where you can drop your child off or suicide prevention. And so many of these parents are just so busy, guilty, you know. They don't know what's going on in their child's life.
No, for sure.
Idea.
Right.
And it's sad.
Right.
They'll, you know, because she'll call and say, listen, your kid's got it all planned out. And they're like, what are you talking about? You know, it's almost like they're just dismissive, but
right.
And yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because of being present
Yes.
has become right now in normal family homes, right? So this isn't like split homes or problem homes. It's been accepted to not be present.
Yeah.
So it's accepted that you're a parent who is not present in the life of your kids, and it's still considered raising them because there's a difference between raising and training.
Yeah.
You know, and parents that are training their kids are present because they put a plan together to be present. And I'm not harping on anybody. I mean, I went through it. I tried to raise 8 of them, and Judas, half the time you're just trying to figure out how to get someone
to the next
somewhere.
game or
That's
whatever.
what I'm saying. Like, again, I'm not saying this from a perspective of having it all right.
Right.
But I am saying if we want to change,
Yeah.
we have got to figure out how to change the pace
Yeah.
in which people are living so that they can be present in the life of other people.
Yeah.
Not just your kids,
Right.
Yeah.
present in your marriage, present in your relationships. Because right now it's just like, okay, I got this much time for you. Are we okay?
Yeah.
Good. I'm going on
Got
to the
an
next
hour.
thing.
Yeah.
So it's really not a being present relationship. It's more of a business
Transaction,
transactional relationship.
Yeah.
But anyway, I got off the subject, but I wanted people to hear what you just said and what you are still working through. And this is this soul knitting or soul tying or whatever those things are. The effects that sexual sin has in the lives of people is different than other sin.
It
just is because of the two becoming one. Sexual sin is different. And so we need to know that, and we need to understand what that looks like.
Yeah. And when you were talking about this area, you know, my son was in Youth for Christ under Nate Hasty.
Oh, yeah.
And all those boys, all in the name of Jesus, they would say, all in the name of Jesus. And I've prayed for my son for years.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
he's worshiping with me now.
I know. I saw him
And I
come
am
to
just
church.
like, I am like,
and his wife.
Yeah.
Which
and
was
their
amazing.
kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I hope your story is my parents drug me to church. Please let it be that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
for
I went
sure.
to HU and
Yeah. Yeah. But again, it is like, how many stories have you heard come out? And I, like I said, I'm not saying John Rails was right.
Yeah.
But I will say that it has been interesting to me that a lot of things that have happened in Huntington that Life Church has dealt with has all been sexual sin. Very weird. I mean, not just sleeping around sexual sin, like weird. I mean, the number of registered child molesters within a 5-mile radius of this church or 1-mile radius. I mean, it's astronomical.
How many?
It's got to be a lot. I would be,
So at one time, I can't, again, now don't get mad. I don't know that today, but at one time there were within, I don't remember. It might have been 5 miles. I don't remember, but we did it for Watchdog, like the idea of like making sure that we're protecting our kids because it was really important.
Yeah.
So we ran a thing. There was 110 registered child molesters within a.
Oh my God.
Again, I don't remember but it was.
It's because they can only live in certain areas.
Right.
So they can't live like
because of
daycare
schools.
Yeah. So it's kind of.
You would think church would fall under that too, though.
And again, this isn't to condemn or to say or to do.
No,
All I'm saying is that
it's
there
true.
is something.
There's
to be
something in
said.
this area.
Yeah,
I went to go sell this guy's house and he didn't tell me. He was in a hurry, had to do this, had to change the deed without giving too much away. And I'm in the house by myself with him. Like, and I, not that they have to disclose.
Yeah.
He just molested his niece.
Yeah.
And
oh my gosh.
But anyways.
Yeah, but that's the idea of sexual sin.
Yeah.
And the things. So again, going through this, so part of the propellant for you being audiobooks, what are some other things that helped you? What has helped you on your journey? And how's the church fit in? Have you got a good relationship with the church, bad relationship with the church? Has the church helped? Has it been on and off?
I've loved every church. I don't want to, I grew up, I went to the Nazarene church as a.
And again, I don't want to be like, I'm not bad mouthing. I'm just like, people trying to figure out what role does the church have in helping people, because this is important. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's really important for the church to recognize their spot in helping the Brendas of the world walk through a journey, because again, too many times the church is set up for the people who had no problems. Right. Grew up in a Christian home and now you're now a Christian and everything's good. It's not set up for divorced families. It's not set up for people who've went through trauma. So what is it that the church needs to know that was helpful, and that the things that the church can do to be helpful, for people that have walked that journey.
Yeah.
Which is ironic that the church wouldn't be built up for that kind of
thing. For broke people.
Because that's what Jesus went.
Yeah.
No, I know, but you think about this. Like I said this on a previous podcast, like I'm guilty of this, right? So I would have said, parents, you need to disciple your children, right? Like that needs to be, you need to be the one to be able to get it done.
Right.
And again, but not really thinking about divorced people. So then I meet Sarah and I spend time at her house and I'm like, how would you ever have time to disciple your children? Like, I have no idea how you get anything done.
Yeah. You got to work, you got to clean, you got to
do everything. And again, she's trying to keep by her own self, provide, cook, clean, raise, laundry. And the church is sitting up there saying, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Shame on me.
Yeah.
Because I am not or have not put things together to help that process. Like the church is just saying, you should, but we don't have systems in place for people that don't have, and again, I call it normal life. I don't even know what else to say it, but they have where a husband and a wife can support each other. And
and I guess I don't know what the answer to that is. I know that there are, places for addicts to go and talk and alcoholics to go and talk and people who've lost somebody or divorce or whatever. But where do you really go if, I don't know. I don't know what that safe spot is because then the church is responsible to probably turn them in. No. And that's not, I know. I don't know what that looks like.
Right.
Right.
Relationship, I think. I think being in more relationships with like mentoring people, just as you said, I don't know. I'm a big found believer. Like I will always say that love changes everything.
It does.
And being cared about changes everything. And
And did you find that, Jenny, like even for you, did you find that in the church?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
people who loved you.
People of the church, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When I say the church, I'm talking about people.
But church people can hurt you. And and I don't know if you've ever read the Beta Satan.
Ooh, Beta Satan.
You should read that.
Okay.
it's about church hurt. I mean, we get all offended but it's really good.
Is that Flowtech calling?
That's his phone.
No, I know. They're out there like a plumbing problem at Sarah's house. And so
I used to get those texts
they're
all
trying
the time.
to figure out how to get that fixed.
Yeah.
So
not good.
Yeah.
But I've watched church people hurt Jenny, and I don't want any part of it anymore.
Right.
Like, I'm done.
Right.
And it was that outreach was really important to me because of my dad's situation.
Right.
And it became very less important to me when I watched how she was treated a few times. And it's
Right.
You got to be careful, I think, as church leaders. You can really hurt somebody.
Yes. And destroy their relationship with God.
Crumble them.
Right.
You know?
As a leader who puts people in positions, or as a leader who just sets up?
In general, they're, and quite honestly, I'm not going to go into detail, but, I was coming here for a while, got super offended by one comment, broke my spirit. I'm like, why am I even going here? Obviously, no, I don't fit in here,
Right.
And I quit coming for a while. And then I kind of was going other places and listening online, and definitely was trying to isolate myself at that time. And then was invited by Sherry back, which I don't even really know.
Oh, you don't?
No, she's Dan's friend.
What? I thought it was you guys.
She's been Dan's friend for years.
Oh my God.
I didn't know that
know. Yeah.
Okay.
You guys are so close now, though.
I know, it's weird. She'd totally flip her shoes off and kick somebody's butt.
Yeah, she would. Yeah, she would. Good old Sherry.
Yeah.
Well, we were at a restaurant, and there was a bunch of girls, and this lady comes and she goes, she looks at me and she goes, I've heard all about you.
Oh
and
my
I thought,
gosh.
Me too. I'm going to take notes. And Sherry's coming up for air. And I'm
my
Lord,
gosh.
this is it's okay, Sherry. It's not
I would love to be
my
there.
first rodeo.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Sherry.
You had made a comment. I know we're getting off subject, but I used to have this same dream when I was a kid. And I was going down the highway. I pull over to a hotel, and my parents are working there.
Whoa.
Okay. And I just check in, and they have no idea who I am. And I could never make sense of this dream, but it was like this, for years I had this dream. And you made a comment one Sunday, and you said, God, let Sherry come back one more time.
Yeah.
And she said, I almost forget you.
Yeah.
And I thought, that was such a peace. They had no idea who I'm like, yes. Yes.
Because they were coming in your dreams.
Yeah.
No, because they're in heaven. No matter what they did here, I believe that, that, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Meaning that's the picture of, because again, once they get to heaven, we have this theory. We have this theory that they're consumed with us like we're consumed with
and
them.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's what usually happens. Usually the people who are left get very consumed with. And so that was part of my journey in the beginning is I'm consumed with this idea of what have life been like? And this was early on. And then when she came back and essentially is like, I'm not thinking about you at all, essentially. And that did two things for me. First, it was hurtful.
Right.
Yes.
But then second, it made me aware, then why am I obsessed with, again, not that I'm not going to keep her memory alive.
Yeah,
We're not going to talk
absolutely.
about things like that, had nothing to do with it. But why am I so obsessive over trying to recreate or bring back or do things when she didn't want to be there and she's not obsessed thinking about me?
Yeah.
Like she's in the place that she was made to be. Move on. You got a new life. Like you need to move on to those new places. Yeah. And see those things.
And I think there are dogs in heaven.
Thank you.
Because he had us read Heaven, Randy Acorn, most boring book. Holy crap. But I was like, I got to get through this, But he says in the book, if your earthly father gives you good gifts, what makes you think that your heavenly father?
Which is for sure.
I keep
true.
telling my
My dad gave
grandkids.
me dogs.
Nope. Randy Alcorn again.
Or Alcorn, yeah.
So
Acorn.
Randy Alcorn's book is hard to, if you read it, I think it would be really hard. If you listen to it,
Audible.
it's way better because you can go through it multiple times
And go back.
catch the things because it is
Yes.
it's the most extensive book ever,
Really?
in my opinion, written on what heaven will be like.
Yeah.
Backed by scripture, not backed by theory.
Correct.
You know, so he does say there will be animals.
And I'm riding pterodactyl all through
There
heaven.
will be
That's what I keep telling my
animals.
grandkids,
There
don't
will
worry
be
about me.
animals. Yeah. So there are going to be animals in
Avatar.
heaven.
Yes.
We're just not sure if Roman
Yes.
or...
Yeah.
I'm going to be the
But
one.
he could give you the gift of
Yes.
seeing your dog again someday.
Which would be so amazing. I'm going to be with all of them and everybody else's dogs. You'll just see me in the corner
Yeah.
with all the dogs.
Okay, Jenny, so we're at the end. So we're at an
Okay.
hour
Oh my goodness.
already. So Brenda, great, obviously, to walk through that. You're going to have to come back. We always say that to our guests.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
get through everything because,
Yeah.
you know, you have a great
Yeah.
story. And so we're
Yeah.
going to finish up. There's some questions
Yep.
and then we'll finish up.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to come back. 'Cause you need to give us some advice. So you be thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
You be thinking. All right. So the questions that I am about to ask, I send out a text each week and let you know who is going to be on the podcast as a guest. And we would like you guys to ask questions and be involved. And it's fun because then we get to answer more questions that Mike hasn't thought of and that you want to know. So
Yes.
I think it's cool.
The more important questions than what I have.
More important questions. All right. Question number 1. Thaddeus Little. 2 questions.
Okay.
Who chose the picture? LOL.
Why? I didn't see the picture. What's the picture look like?
I don't know.
Because I cropped that picture. I was like,
What's wrong with that picture?
I don't know.
I wanted it to look like me. I don't want a filter that
Yeah.
somebody be like, oh, I thought you were 20.
No,
I'm not.
that's a good picture. Yeah.
Sherry said
my
I should have
gosh.
used the filtered one. Well, I didn't like that.
She likes filters though.
Sherry likes filters.
Yes.
Imagine that.
Yeah. All right. Question number 2. More importantly, when did she fully believe in the gospel? Love you guys.
Like I said, at a very young age, now I've had ups and downs, but I talk to God all the time, like
Which is amazing.
all
Yeah.
the time.
Especially since your journey.
And this sounds silly, but if I get stuck, I got to go through the alphabet forward or backwards, and I got to say, God, this is what you are to me. And then what's even harder, what are you to God? It's hard, but if you come to a trigger, in your head, you really got to reel yourself back in.
Like remind yourself of who he is.
You change your mind.
Yeah.
Because if you dwell
Change
on
your
something
thinking. Yeah.
for too long, then it's a
Yes.
feeling, and then it's like, then you're just meditating on it. And
Then becomes you.
Yeah, good.
All right. Well, that was a thing that we could do when we get need help, or I don't
Yes.
even know what I'm talking about.
No, it's a resource that she just
yeah.
said for people who are getting stuck in their head. She
Yeah.
has a methodology
Right. Yeah.
that's used. And
All right. Adam Shoemaker. He says, what do you feel like God is currently calling you to do? Such a good question.
Well, and this has been dwelling. I just met with Kim Patmore, and we ran into somebody, and I'm like, this meeting was not for us. This was a total setup. I know that I need to give my time. I know it to. I don't even know how to give my time. I guess I don't even know what to do. But I feel like there are people that just need to even sit down and talk and have coffee, and because she wanted me to read this book, and I'm like, I don't go through people's Facebook crap and jealous of their stuff. And, it was never unfriended.
Was that the book that she was talking about? Okay.
God,
Yeah.
I love Kim.
Yeah.
not that book.
She wants you to read a lot of books.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Are you done?
I don't remember the question.
Maybe you should. So what do you feel
don't know
called to
if I
right
remember.
now?
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel like I need to, and I've felt this for a long time, I need to, you guys have groups here at church. I need to get more involved in things.
Like relationships?
Yes,
kind
because I
of?
could totally be by myself and not talk to people.
Yeah. Be with people, be in relationships,
Yeah.
share your story,
Yeah.
share your journey.
Yeah.
Help them
Definitely
along
share
the
your
way.
story.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
good.
All right. Doug Bragg. That's weird to say. Anyways, that just sounded weird out of my mouth. But he wants to know, how does one get into deer farming? That's wild and really different.
Actually, the state was getting ready to shut down somebody Russ Beller knew.
Okay.
And Dan had to go work on, he had done this ESPN thing, and he made this big concert. I don't know if you've ever been to Russ's
No.
farm.
No.
But there was diesels broke down everywhere and blah, blah, blah. And Russ knew that that there was dead deer and they were not being fed. They were not being watered. They were not being, so it was either, in my heart, I was like, okay, fine. I was wore down, Doug.
That's all it took.
And so, but you have to be approved by the state.
Yes.
And so
we're a zoo farm.
You are?
Yeah.
So what other animals can you have?
I don't know. Because I just know that's what we're labeled. I saw zebras at this Amish farm the other day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so you have to go through the state.
Yes.
You have to get permitted and licensed to be able to do it. And then it's just a process.
Probably the same as what you do.
Yeah, so I mean, we have to be IDEM permitted.
do?
So like we have to be.
I do have to ask you about the little baby Angus. One of the
Angus, the baby Angus. That's what
we've
we're
been
calling
approached
him?
about that. And
Yeah. So anyway, so you have to be, so you get there and then it's like anything, you have to start with an investment.
Yeah.
To buy animals and start the process.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Okay.
Wild.
Deer farming.
All right. Tammy Little. This is Tammy Little. Like, I didn't know. It's just so funny. I think she tells me that every time. Tell her she needs to be scared of my question.
Okay.
Are you nervous?
Oh, Judas. ...
And fun.
What's your favorite Bible verse? Because that seems to be Tammy's ongoing question.
That is Tammy's ongoing question. Okay. Seriously, I don't have a question, just a statement. We have been friends for such a long time, and it blesses me so much to see all of us girls coming together for his kingdom. Love you, Brenda.
I love you, Tammy.
I told her I'd be really dramatic with it and make you like nervous and sweat a little bit with her question.
Brenda doesn't get nervous. Look at her. She's over there. No big deal.
Calm as a cucumber.
Calm as a cucumber.
We know what you meant.
I just don't
have to play charades all the time too.
Those cucumbers.
It's really hard to read and talk at the same time.
It's okay. Cucumber. It all
should be
goes
a
together.
new word.
Nobody
Cucumber.
cares.
I actually like that.
Yeah, good.
All right. Robert Glover wants to know, what is it like raising deer? Also, just as an FYI. Oh, wait, this is not something I'm supposed to read. Dang it. He wants to know what it's like raising deer. But I feel like we kind of went over that.
A lot of hard work.
It's hard. It's hard.
I bet.
A labor of love.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I feel like raising any animals is hard.
Raising animals that you have to have babies.
Yes.
Babies are difficult to take care of. That's like, baby calves. We get them
then
in
you get a breach and then you're like, and they're lay on top of them. And
Hannah Bangma. I always say her name wrong.
It's okay. Just keep going.
Okay. Yeah. Well, how do you say it? I need to say it right.
Bangma, I think.
Bangma?
I think so. Bangma.
Well, why does it have to be so hard?
But it's fine.
Oh, she just said deer farm.
You're calling again?
And had a shock face. Deer farm and shocked face. That was her send in. And I think that's it.
Okay.
I get confused often, but I think we're good.
I do too.
Yeah.
So again, Jenny, give us a number. So this is how people can get involved in it.
So 260-408-8383. That is our phone number. And if you text podcast to that number, you'll be hooked up and you will be receiving the messages each week. But you can also not only just wait for that message, but you can text anytime and we'll text back. And you can say anything really, but we want you to ask us questions. If you know somebody that wants to be a guest, if you want to be a guest, if you have a suggestion for something that we talk about, anything really, we want you to text us.
Yeah, get on the text message.
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Do you remember that Kim Possible? Nobody does.
No.
It's just me. But
Brenda, thank you for joining us. Thanks for sharing your story. And again, I'm sure that, we'll have you back and continue to go on with your journey and what God's doing. But we're really excited. We'll be praying for you as you're going on to this new space of learning, maybe being with more people, sharing your story and having influence. So thanks for being here. And again, thanks everybody for joining us. Don't forget to share, comment, be able to get this message out to other people. So we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.